Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about how I got my start in property and how you can take the learnings from that and get started too. It doesn't have to be this big, huge, enormous deal to get into your first property. You can get started small and gradually build up from there. And in fact, I'm then going to take you over to a groundbreaking ceremony event we're having this morning on our 7-story commercial building in East Melbourne. And I'm going to go over the 3 top initiatives that we used for health and well-being in that building to make sure that it's awesome for the people that are going to work there. So lots to get through, but first I'm going to hit the gym.
All right, workout complete. So ended up with 5.5K on the treadmill over about 29 minutes and 16K on the bike over 30 minutes. So good sort of recovery session. I'm in a recovery week at the moment, so taking it easy. Anyway, time to get home, have a shower and get some brekkie, some tucker, and get stuck into it. All right guys, so we're down here in East Melbourne getting ready for the groundbreaking ceremony. But before we get into that, I was just standing here and I was reflecting on sort of the last 10 years. You know, when I think back to when I was in my early 20s, just getting started in property, you know, it was very different to what I'm doing now. In fact, when I was in my early 20s, the first deal that I put together that I completed was a small little granny flat, right? This is even before the whole tiny house movement, right? This small little granny flat deal that I'd put together where I was planning on relocating it, putting it on the back of a truck and shipping it to a place called Bonnie Doon. And I remember standing there in the office of the caravan park that I was planning on putting it in, trying to convince the owner that this was going to be a good idea, right? That this young 20-year-old would put a property on the back of a truck and then have to renovate it and build it and all this kind of thing. But you know, that's where I started. And I guess what I'm here to say is that it doesn't matter where you're at right now, you've just got to get going. Because I understand the frustration that you can have when you've got this big vision of what you want to create and you don't want to start small. It's almost a bit like with what I'm doing with this YouTube channel, right? Like I've just started and I get that it's a little bit clunky and it's a bit awkward and the videos aren't that great, but I know that if I put in the work and if I just keep improving myself and improving the videos, they're going to get better over time. And property's no different. So if you're sitting there at the moment thinking, I want to get into the market, I want to get going, think small and think build over time. Because one thing that I know for sure, and you may have heard this before, is that most people will overestimate what they can achieve in 1 year, but will completely underestimate what can be achieved over 10 years. And when I look at what we're doing today, you know, breaking ground on a $60 million project on the fringe of the city, right? The MCG's on our doorstep, overlooking the park. It's in one of the best pockets of Melbourne. And this isn't the only project that we're doing of this size. We're doing like 4 or 5 of these things, right? But I could never have imagined that we would be doing this sort of thing 10 years ago. So start small and build over time. And if you don't start now, you're going to be sitting there in 5 years' time thinking, shit, I've wasted another 5 years. Or like, you know, the problem's going to be worse. You still have to make the same mistakes. So what's the point waiting, trying to get into something bigger where you're going to make the same mistakes, but they're going to cost you more money? You're better to start small and build over time. So what I wanted to do today was to share based on the health and wellness initiatives that we're putting into this building, because this building's going to be pretty remarkable. And when it comes to commercial property, or even resi property for that matter, it's just so important that you're thinking about your end customer, the end user, whether that be a tenant or a purchaser, and how they're going to use the space. So the more we can think about wellness and think about the things that we can include into the spaces that we're creating, the better off that they're going to be received, right? The energy is going to be better. Like for instance, the more light and ventilation that we can put into a space, there is so many studies out there that suggest that you're going to be able to increase productivity just by working and being in that space, right? So one of the things that we did in this building is that we made sure that there was tons of light. So we've got 4 sides of the building. We can't be built out to the north because there's some heritage buildings there which are only 2 stories, so we can't be built out. We've got plenty of northern light coming in there, and we've got ventilation, right? So we've got opening windows, we've got lots of light and lots of and flow through that's just going to really help improve and enhance the overall space. So the other thing that we've done is we've included a lot of gym and wellness space into the building. So for us, it's really important that we're encouraging people to live actively, live positively. So the inclusion of locker rooms, showers, bike storage, but not just the bare minimum, like going over and above on what we have to provide, because we want to make sure that people feel encouraged to be able to ride to work or walk to work or exercise during the day and know that they can go back to their work afterwards, right? So it doesn't matter whether it's a resi building or if it's a different sort of space that you're creating. It doesn't have to be commercial, but start to think about how you can incorporate more wellness space into that particular building. And then lastly, the third initiative that we've put into the building, there's lots more. This is just my top 3, is the e-water system. And I reckon this is really important for you guys to check out, right? So e-water is a system, a technology that's being created which basically blends tap water, high-grade salt with electrodes, right? Positive and negative ions, and it interrupts the atomic structure of the water and the salt to basically create a cleaning agent, yeah? So what that means is that rather than having to go and spend, money in bringing in harmful, harsh chemical agents into the building, we eliminate all of that stuff, right? So it's better for the people that are using the cleaning agents, it's better for the surfaces, and overall it's just a better cleaning agent than what's on the market. All the studies there and the research to show it. So those are the top 3 things. Make sure that you're putting lots of light and ventilation into the spaces that you're creating, because it's going to enhance the space, enhance the vibe, enhance the energy. Second thing is obviously wellness spaces. So wherever you can, make sure you're including those spaces for people who are going to use them, whether it be tenants or purchasers or just occupants of the space. And the third one is the e-water system, guys. Check it out. I reckon you'll really like it. It's great for home use as well.
Thanks for watching the video, and I hope that you got a ton of value out of that. If you did, then please let me know by hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any future videos. And by the way, while you're here, why don't you drop a comment in the section below? Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want to see more of, and I'll get to work. See you on the next one.